Hello and welcome to our live streaming. Today, I've come up with another topic about teenagers, and that is bullying. Of course, this is a very important topic which most teens and their parents also don't prefer to talk because they feel something very low when they talk about getting bullied or my child is being bullied by others and all that stuff. They don't want to open up. Most teenagers also don't open up. So, what do you think? Do you really think that teenagers are directly getting affected by this serious bullying or a serious way of maybe having some kind of conversation that is causing some trouble? Well, not all children, but there are few who are getting affected by all these matters. So we have to be mindful about all that what they are doing and what they say. Maybe perhaps children don't open up, as I said earlier also, children don't open up, but perhaps they may be sometimes victims or perpetrators of bullying, and we as parents need to take care of all of that. They are they are very much aware of things that are going on in and around their family or their schools, and they know what is happening, what kind of bullying is being done. So there are cases where even a 12-year-old child is being bullied and it affects his own behavior. It's not just the behavior during his teens, but also later on it gets affected with his relationship also, and even at his workplace later on. So you can see how it was or how serious the matter can turn out to be sometimes when they start bullying. Okay, those who have joined this particular live stream, thank you for joining and let me know where are you from. So, which place have you joined from and what's your name? So I'm really excited to meet you online. And so, again, moving further, what are the relationship? Okay, as we said, we have there are relationship issues and also some issues that are happening even at the workplace. Now these results are huge amount of unhappiness in the lives of people, in the lives of children also, and then later on when they turn out to be adults also, those effects are seen. Now what is a bully, what is bullying, or what are the types of bullying? I want to mention that the first thing is bullying is an aggressive behavior which is carried out just to hurt somebody or maybe hurt another person, maybe through verbal communications or physical attacks and so on. So I'm just going to mention that what forms are there of bullying. The first thing is the physical bullying, maybe like pushing others or kicking or hitting people and all that stuff. You might have seen that in many videos or sometimes even in our previous movies, right? You have seen these Three Idiots, the movie Three Idiots. We have seen how children are being bullied there. The second thing is the verbal communications or verbally how we start bullying people. That is maybe spreading the rumors about others or having a body shaming people or maybe calling by nicknames or a kind of sarcasm that you call, sarcastic comments that you give or something related to their own physical, something about their it could be about the complexion and all that stuff. So what happens is emotionally they are getting bullied also sometimes. When you talk about racism, when you talk about their religion, or sometimes it may be humiliation, or we may even have some ridiculous comments which really hurts somebody's self-confidence. So this causes a lot of trouble in the child's emotional, in his emotional setup. Again, rational, or I can say it's a racial bullying also. Like for example, when you start giving taunts about particular nationality or something about his own religion, it really hurts a person. So this kind of bullying can affect its effect. It can be said it's a long term effect. Okay, then when somebody starts about sexual bullying also can be done. Like for example, unwanted physical touches or contacts, or sometimes homophobic abuse. All that stuff will cause uh, again the child to have low self confidence. Sometimes there are online bullying also. Online bullying right now in the present situation, we have some scenarios wherein there are sexual images, or some images are being misused, or their own images, their face and their body is being misused by people and used it something maybe for spreading rumors against the person, or sometimes even sending hate or hateful messages or texts can create a lot of issues. So these are again some of the things that we have online or cyber bullying also, which we can see. Now, what happens? What are the effects of having this getting bullied by? Let me explain about that. The first thing is the child feels lonely. He wants to stay alone. He doesn't want to mingle with people. He usually feels that he's excluded. So he wants, maybe he's alone, and his feeling of self confidence is again getting lower and lower. He feels that he's not confident to do certain things by himself, and also he has some kind of guilt and vulnerability, and he feels I'm not inclusive, or somewhere he feels that he is excluded from his own family members or sometimes even his friends. He keeps blaming themselves One keeps blaming himself for all that what is happening. So these things are all the results of getting bullied. The child also feels that, I can. Most parents don't appreciate all these things. What happens is they don't support the child, and at that particular point of time, it becomes very difficult for child to incorporate all that values that are taught once upon a time. Because when we were young, we've been given a lot of confidence by default. Our body has that confidence in us, but due to all these things, the child loses the self confidence, and that self image also turns out to be very small. And the child is not able to reach out to that level of success as and when he wants. It's on because these kinds of words create a lot of impact, and they are trying to live that life over and over again, or they are trying to live that particular event again and again in life. They can overhear that conversation. They can feel that that conversation is getting repeated every now and then. Maybe that event is getting repeated every now and then in their body. So the mind is they are not able to stretch the level of success, stretch to that level of success when they want to do it. Okay, so they cannot express the feelings also. See, I have told that in my previous sessions also, that teenagers are not able to express themselves. We need to understand that. It's all about the way they show it, the way sometimes through their behaviors we can see that the child is expressing something, and we need to take some hints out of that. So when the child cannot express his feelings, we need to understand what are the hidden feelings that he has. We have to be mindful about all that gestures that he wants to show. What are the signs of getting bullied? What are the signs of bullying? Maybe they are wide ranging, of course. Then the first thing is they start withdrawing from their family and their friends. They don't want to be with anybody. They want to stay isolated. Okay, because they cannot listen to all that what their friends are talking, or maybe sometimes what the family members or people around him are talking about. Second thing is they dislike those activities that they used to like once upon a time. Okay, imagine that the child was very much interested in cooking, and nowadays he doesn't. The child was very much interested to watch one particular program, and now he doesn't do it. Third point is that he is very secretive regarding his friends. He doesn't want to share any of the messages or anything that his friends are doing, right? So this is another case. We have to identify all these traits if we have that in our children or not. Sometimes they're not willing to go to school. I've got this. I told in my last video also that we have students who are coming up with all this trouble nowadays. Children don't want to go to school. They avoid going to school. Mainly, they're not able to open up. And I ask them also, they're not able to really give some valid reasons behind all these things. Perhaps there could be these kinds of bullying also, which they may not feel it is bullied. That's why they don't go to school. Even sometimes, even adults don't want to go to colleges or the workplace. Can you imagine that? I had a case wherein a graduate had come to me saying that I don't want to go to school. I'm not really interested to go. So it may not be 100% about bullying, but there are chances that the child feels he's bullied sometimes, even though there are no such evidences. The child feels that maybe I'm getting bullied, or maybe people are talking ill about me. So there may be some cases like that as well. There are some physical, I think we can say some physical symptoms, I would say. Some children they get headaches, sometimes they get stomachache, or sometimes you have that underachievement, like you don't feel like doing things that you were doing. Earlier, you had very good grades, you were very active in all the co-curricular activities. Once all these bullying started, your achievements are low. You're not able to achieve all that things. Again, there are no interest in any activities. So sometimes, these things are very serious to be noted. And again, victims may become, sometimes, victims may become anxious, but at the same time, they get insecure also sometimes, they get insecure and they get nightmares, which is again, it is all related to their intellectual growth. So emotional and intellectual growth also is hindered because of all these things. There are again reasons where children get into self-harming activities as well. Now self-harming becomes really serious. So what actions we need to take care of? We have to understand that. Okay. So what are the things that we need to take care? Taking action is, you know, yeah, taking action is, first thing is recognize that the child is getting bullied or not. Understand that whether the child really needs your support in this matter. And do not try to cross question the child, saying that how can you say that you are getting bullied, and how can you make sure, how can you blame somebody else? Don't try to cross question, just try to understand what is there in his mind. And once he becomes receptive, then we can talk over the matter very deeply. Okay. In the very first conversation, don't try to tell that what you're telling is wrong. You feel about all that things. No, there's nothing like that. When you say that, the child is not going to open up again. And treat the allegations of bullying very seriously, because this is really the matter of concern for all the parents, and we have to understand, and we cannot underestimate all these things. We have to think about his own feelings, and about his own emotions very seriously. Now, what are the possible ways we can work together? That is, let him, if he is not, first thing is we need to talk about this particular problem with the child. Very first thing is to talk about the problem. And the second thing is we also, like, if the child is not trying to open up, imagine the child doesn't want to tell anything in front of us. Give him a diary and ask him to write down all that emotions that he feels. Write down, let him express his feelings, let him express his own, the incidents or the events that are taking place in his life. This can create not many changes. He is able to write down, some kind of journaling can be done, and he is able to come out of all that stress. Almost 25 to 30% of the stress can be managed when the emotions are written down. Okay, so let him write his own experiences. And third one is I'm sorry, the fourth point that I want to tell you is, even by law, the schools also should condemn these kind of activities. You know, they should openly tell the students that we are against all these bullying, and such children will be engaged who are engaged in all these things. It has to be made public that once you start doing all these activities, then serious actions will be taken against you. So such, we have to communicate that to parents and also the students. The teachers and school authorities should take care of that. Again, uh, take schools help actually for bystanders or to condemn these kind of behaviors. School authority, I'm sure they're going to help us in all these matters. So we need to seek their help as well. And schools must also have a very strong leadership quality in them. So a good leader can always stand by all these things, and they are able to support for the betterment of the society and the children. So it's better you have all these understandings about what actions as parents we can take in these terms. Now about bullying, about see, the person who is bullied, it's fine, but what about the bullies who is bullying the person? Sometimes we have to understand why the child is bullying others. Now imagine that this child is getting bullied. Yes, of course, he is having all this stress and trauma, but one who is bullying a person, he also may be the victim of insecurity in his family or at school sometimes. This, because he is feeling that uncomfortable, in his life, or sometimes there may be some realities in life he doesn't want to share, but he's expressing through bullying others. That may be the case. So we need to empathize with such people as well. We cannot all of a sudden take very strict action against these people. Try to resolve the issues by maybe knowing about, maybe it could be the anger issues, or sometimes the emotional issues, or sometimes they feel insecure about their own self, and that could be the reason for starting to bully others. So we need to understand that and try to resolve that issue in the initial stage. Also, it could be related to very serious issues at home. Maybe parents are divorced, or somebody's death may cause him such things that they want to do all these kinds of bullying others and all that stuff. These behaviors are seen because of some issues that are seriously happening at home. They don't want all that to express at home, so they want to come and start disturbing others here at school. Okay, so communication also could be a problem. And what, as parents, we need to have some tips that I would like to share with you. The first thing is, child must learn how to socially get equipped with all these. No? Etiquettes of socializing should be known to the child. The child should understand how to treat others, how accepting the differences can make a lot of happy things in life. For example, now what happens is the differences in our culture, our dresses, or sometimes even our complexion, our physique, our voice, all these things matter a lot to a teenager. So, how to accept that behavior, we have to teach our children in the very first step. And second thing is, we need help to admit that they are bullied. Now, parents also, and at the same time, one who is getting bullied also, some and others who are bullying children, other children also, they need help, and we as parents need to accept it. Now, if my child is bullying others, I need to accept that, okay, yes, my child is bullying and there is some reason behind it, and I have to work on it. If my child is getting bullied also, I need to work on all that what is happening to help him out. So this is a very serious issue. I hope everybody, whoever is watching this video, is very much serious about these bullying matters and take right decisions, and also seek help if you really need some. Do let me know in the comment section what are your experiences regarding these things and these matters when you were young or when you were a teen. What has happened to you? What is your experience in your teenager when you were a teenager? And also Also, you can comment in the comment section whenever you feel any help, you need any help regarding these things. We can have a discovery call on all these matters. And I also want to tell you about our upcoming workshops. That is, we are having workshops held on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for parents at 8:30 p.m. So you can join and also know about our updates and what are the things we are going to teach there for 3 days. The link is already given in the description box below, so you can have a look at that and let me know in the comment section how can I help you out. Thank you.